Here is how you can add another level of cool to your DCS. It's a button box. No, not one of those, but one of these. It doesn't matter whether you fly via a keyboard, a HOTAS with a clickable cockpit, or in VR. There is nothing better than getting the feel and sound of a real switch going into place. Here is mine. It's a Derek Spears designed button box that I bought for sim racing, but now I mostly use it for flying. Other than the sound and feel of a good switch going in, it's about having it set up for those regular functions regardless of what aircraft you're flying. Things like gear up, gear down, canopy, kneeboard, etc. And these are some of the first control settings I set up when I get a new plane. This is how I've set up mine. The top left is always for the undercarriage. Gear up and gear down. The second is for those aircraft with refueling booms. Boom out and boom in. For carrier aircraft and for those ones which aren't on the super carrier, I've set this one to U to hook up the catapult and salute. The third one I've also set up for carrier aircraft. Obviously I fly those a lot, so we've got hook down and hook up. The last switch I've set up for a drag chute, so drag chute out and down is cutting the drag chute. The rest I tend to set up differently for different aircraft, but there's two that always remain the same. This one is for activating the kneeboard, and then I use the rotary underneath to move page forward and page back. The far side on the opposite is always eject. These ones I set up for different reasons. For instance, these two are used in the startup for the P51, but this one by itself is the night vision goggles in the F18, and then I would use this to increase or decrease the gain. For the other rotaries, for propeller aircraft, I always use this switch for setting the RPM, but in FC3 aircraft like the F16 or the F15, the F15 or the SU-27, this is radar range, this is radar azimuth, and this is radar elevation. One point to note out is these are momentary switches, so if I push them up it'll go back to where it was before, which is I think a better option than positional switches. So a positional switch, you push it and it stays where it is. That's okay, but when you crash or have to respawn, you've got to remember to reset your switches back to where you normally have them at the start. So with a button box, there is no searching around in the cockpit to find the right switch or fiddling about with the keyboard, especially in VR. It's always there, it's always in the same place, and I know easily which one I can hit. Plus, as I said, you get that satisfying feel of a click or the switch. So if you want to add another level of cool to your DCS, get a button box.